Sri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. The conversation between Lord Kapila and his mother Devahūtī is going on. Lord Kapiladeva told mother, "O mother, the soul, the spirit soul is my eternal fragmental part. That's why it does not become mingled with the three modes, does not become affected by the modes, and remains as non-doer, because it does not go through the result of action. Just as sun in the sky is steady, but its reflection in the unsteady water shakes. But that shaking of the reflection does not affect the steadiness of the sun. Similarly, the activities of this world does not affect the soul in any manner. But this fragmental part becomes affected by the three modes of material nature, becomes filled with the ego, and thinks that I am the doer, without me nothing can be done. Then whatever activity, sinful or good, meritorious activities it does using the body, experiences, becomes influenced and experiences the results. Thus loses the spiritual potency of being part of the Supreme Lord, and takes birth in the higher birth, middle birth, or lower category of birth. Means takes birth in the heaven as demigods, takes birth on earth as a human being, or glides down to taking birth in lower species. Kabhu swarge, kabhu marte. Sometimes takes birth upstairs in the heaven, sometimes as a human being or lower species. Thus rotates in the cycle of birth and death continuously. It's only because of his doing. Say, for example, when you are eating, while eating sometimes you end up biting the tongue and you feel pain. Whom you are going to accuse for the pain you are experiencing by biting your own tongue while eating? Similarly, the spirit soul is part of God and is beyond this material nature. But because being affected by three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, the living entity becomes egotistic and thinks, I do the things. Thus he has to experience. That is their doing, just as, for example, while sleeping at night you see dreams. While seeing dreams, you become involved in the dreams. Thus you either lament, or become happy, or become morose, or jolly, or fearful sometimes. But when you wake up, you disconnect yourself and you know it is just a dream. Similarly, when one is deep down in ignorance, thinks he's the doer, he's the boss, he's everything, without him nothing can be done. When the same person, by executing devotional service, becomes free from ignorance and Maya, illusion, becomes disconnected to the cycle of birth and death. No miseries of this world can affect him. Ceases the miseries. Then he says, O mother, attaining saneschittam prasaktam asatam pathi bhakti yogena tibrena viraktya cha nayed vasam. Intelligent people, by executing devotional service, bring their mind under control. Mind is always drowned, stuck in the material thoughts, sense gratification. But the devotee, intelligent devotee, wants to practice, wants to get out from that rut and practice devotional service. Tibra bhakti yogena. Continuous. Tibra means continuous here. Not intense. Intense also is good. Intense means continuous. So, by being detached and continuous devotional service, mind should be brought under control. In this way, thinking with devotion about Kṛṣṇa and listening the narrations, reading the narrations of Kṛṣṇa, living as per the rules laid in the scriptures, gradually mind will automatically come back. You do not need to bring back. You don't need to endeavor to bring the mind. Automatically it will come back under your control. Lord further says, Yadruchayopalabdhena santoshto medabhumani vivikta sarana shanto matra karuna atmavan. Oh mother, when a person becomes my real devotee, honestly executes devotional service, then he remains satisfied with what income comes regularly, automatically. It's limited. Whatever is required to live within the body peacefully, to keep life and soul together, it's only that much required. Lives in a secluded place, remains peaceful, friendly to all the living entities, don't harm anyone, very merciful, and his characters are sublime, dhairyavan, self-satisfied, sober, not unsteady. Such devotees do not remain attached to their spouse, children, family, relatives, and friends. They don't keep excessive connection because they are not devotees. Such a devotee in due course of time becomes self-realized. The Lord says, I don't say it, Lord says, such a devotee becomes in due course of time self-realized. And in due course of time means one day sees the Supreme Lord face to face. Just as a person comes to understand the sun in the sky by looking at the reflection in the water, reflection of the sun in the water, and then he sees the sun's reflection on the wall, comes to understand there is a sun steady in the sky, actual sun. Similarly, by performing continuous devotional service, one sees Lord Kṛṣṇa face to face. At first, Lord Kṛṣṇa comes in thoughts of mind. then comes in realization by the senses. And then comes personally in front of the body of devotee, and devotee sees Lord Krishna face to face. This is the process of seeing Lord Krishna, not at once Lord Krishna comes. Hearing this, Devahūtī asked, because Lord Kapila spoke about soul and material nature, so Devahūtī asks, "O Lord, the soul and material nature are very much deeply connected. They cannot be separated because the soul is under the care of material nature. Just as the smell from the earth cannot be separated, taste from the water cannot be separated, similarly the soul and material nature does not seem to be ever separated. If one thinks, speculates in the mind that the tie to the cycle of birth and death of this world gradually will become cut without any endeavor. But it is not a fact. Thinking that connection with this material nature one day cease, but it does not cease. It always remains. How can one cease? You feel hungry, you have to eat chapati or rice, that is material. You feel sleepy, you have to sleep on the bed or on a rug or on the floor, that is all material. So soul cannot function without physical material body. Soul cannot be seen without having material body. So soul and the material nature are interconnected, cannot be separated. Body cannot function unless soul is inside. So both are connected, cannot be separated. Hearing this, Supreme Lord said, actually looks fact. Like Duryodhana spoke, whatever he spoke, it looks fact. This Dharma Raj Yudhishthira sold his wife on the casino gambling. So I own the woman. So I wanted to disrobe her. What is the problem? Sounds correct. He should not have sold. But it is not correct. So now Lord speaks. O mother, just as fire ignited into the wood burns the wood all the way, and existence of the wood cease to exist. Similarly, wholeheartedly executed devotional service without cessation, in due course of time, with strict regulations of the scriptures, remaining detached with material affairs, material connection to the soul cease to exist. Finished. O mother, Mad Bhakta Pratibuddhartho Mat Prasadena Bhuya, by my mercy, Mat Prasadena. Mad Bhakta Pratibuddhartho Mat Prasadena Bhuyasa Nisrayase Susansthanam Kaivalyakyam Madasrayam Prapnoti Anjasa Dhira Swadrusha Chinna Samsayaha Yad Gatvar Nivarteta Yogi Lingad Vinirgamai. O mother, my unceasable mercy upon my devotee, because that devotee is very sober and steady in my devotion, I extend my mercy, due to which he receives self-realization. receives Tattva-gyan. Tattva-gyan means knowledge in truth. And thus experiences the super soul present inside the heart and sees the Lord subtly first. Thus becomes freed from material affection, affairs. And after departure from this world, enters into my abode, O Mother, and never returns to this world. Such a devotee does not have any connection with the material nature. O my Mother, such a pure devotee does not have any connection with the material world, because devotee develops connection with my world, O Mother, where my world, where even death personified does not reach. That world. Yogi lingat pramuchyate. When he ceases to exist with the material body, enters in my world, O Mother, my devotee is very dear to me. Thank you very much.